let me address a couple points there, okay? First of all, LSU is going to have the money. They once do you remember this story? They once mistakenly paid Brian Kelly $1 million extra. They had an audit. And they found they had overpaid him by accident $1 million. Oh, BK didn't notice. I don't know. Pretty interesting.
Bank error in your favor.
Bank error in your favor. This is Louisiana, man. They just got $1 million laying under a palm tree or something. I don't know. Down in the swamp.
They don't actually have a lot of money. That's the
well, they lost $1 million and no one noticed. So they got some. They don't have a lot of money until they want to have a lot of money. The governor may be like, look, my approval rating goes up when LSU's winning because everyone's happy. So maybe I'm throwing in. I don't know. I just know they paid a guy $1 million and didn't notice. That can't be easy. I would think people would know quickly. But what do I've never run a major university.
They better hope that check is already cleared for the donation that he made to raise money.
Oh, yeah. And then he donated $1 million. So he's kind of out too. Who knows what's going on with money in Louisiana? It's just happening. Okay. There's just money moving around down there. Nobody knows what's happening. Brian Kelly came to LSU, and I'm not Pete's the strength and conditioning. He knows every strength and conditioning coach in the country. But as I recall, when Brian Kelly came to LSU, he wiped out the staff, or almost all the staff, including Tommy Moffitt, I think was the legendary strength and conditioning guy there, dating back to Saban, who, by the way, is now at A&M. And brought in a whole new culture of guys, a bunch of new guys, and basically said, I'm going to do what I did at Notre Dame. I'm just going to do it at LSU, and we will get a little bit better recruit, and I can win a national title. So sometimes you got to go to a place and bring what you bring, but you got to keep, I'm not so sure. You want cultural fit. You need a strength and conditioning coach has more to do with that than the head coach in a lot of ways. So just to that point, I think it was made. At this point, though, with the money, to me, the most consequential thing that happened, one of the most consequential things that have happened in college football in the last few years, was Texas A&M firing Jimbo Fisher and paying $76 million. And they just he was en route to like an 8-4 season.
Wasn't he duck hunting when they fired him?
They beat the brakes off of Mississippi State the night before, but it was like 50-10 or something, right? Yeah. And he goes, hey, all right. And they had a bye week, and then they just said, here's $76 million. You're gone. We don't want it. And this is why it's consequential. And they got a little lucky. They wanted to hire Mark Stoops, but the boosters vetoed it. If you remember that. And they end up with Mike Elko. And now they're number 3 in the country. And any Aggie fans, any Aggie boosters, anyone who wrote a check for that's sitting around going, boy, a $76 million buyout. And I think that has been amazingly consequential because all these other schools are looking around and saying, hey, A&M they bit the bullet and just got it over with. And now look at them. They might win a national title. And all you see in these 20, 40, $50 million buyouts, people are willing to do it. Now, they're also looking and saying, why the heck is Georgia Tech in the top 10? Why is Indiana in the top 10? How the heck can't we be better? All of that is there. We've discussed fans aren't in tune to how the world's working right now. They still expect we win all the games. And you're just not going to win all the games this thing. But then some teams are. So here we are. But I think that Stoops firing and it working out so well for A&M, that's your blueprint now for these guys. And you say, hey, we'll find the $54 million. No one's safe. Let's just get it over with. We'll go get Mike Elko. Here's the problem. A&M almost didn't get Mike Elko, and there may not be very many of Mike Elkos out there. But that's it's shoot first, aim later. It's LSU. They expect, if you're getting paid $10 million a year to do pretty much anything in this country, you better be really, really good at it. You better deliver results. And at LSU, the results are national titles or, man, you better at least be in this playoff. He had a good first year, made the SEC title game. Here's my thing with Brian Kelly and LSU. Fit, I didn't really care. If you win, you fit. They don't care what your accent is. You can, who you are. His problem was trying to come up with the accent, but whatever. Brian Kelly was an excellent football coach for Notre Dame. Excellent, and I don't think that should be rewritten. Before Brian Kelly got there, the perception was they'll never be good. They got to join a conference. This program is
academic headwinds.
Yes. Oh, it's Rudy. It's just Newt Rockney. These people are delusional. He made them good. But what it takes to win in college football in 2025, and I'm kind of like, we're doing this every week, right? Can't wait for next week. Who's going down next week that we talk about? But we said
I can wait.
Florida and with Napier and James Franklin and all that. The skills you need to coach Notre Dame in 2015, in 2019, and the skills you need to run LSU in 2024, 2025, they're not complete. There's a Venn diagram there, but it isn't 100%. It's I don't know what percent you need. And Brian Kelly was a good coach for the last era. I don't know that he's a good coach for this era. And
why?
All those accomplishments are great, but he would talk. He went on a rant like 2 signings ago. We're not out here buying defensive linemen. That's not what we're going to do. We're going to develop relationships and go in and talk to mom and tell them how I'll make your kid great and you'll make the money in the back. Like, what do you mean you're not buying them? That's the rule. You can buy them.
But then they went out and did it.
Well, they did it anyway.
They had a really good transfer portal class last year.
They did, and he ended up doing some of it. There's no question, right? But I feel like all of us have covered college athletics for a long time. And there's always a point with older coaches. The game changes and it's subtle. I'll use basketball as an example. All of a sudden, AAU coaches become the point person in recruiting. And not, I just go in and see Coach Smith at Central Catholic, and I've known him for 30 years. I don't even talk to the high school coach anymore. Well, I got to talk to this guy. They're uncomfortable with it. They're not dialed in on it. And I think Brian Kelly is of the era that was begrudgingly going in on, I got to pay the player. I got to deal with an agent. Like, you just got to be like, hey, this is it. I think about this. I read this story this week. I think it was ESPN. I don't remember who wrote it, but it was Charlie Weiss Jr. and all of the Ole Miss coaches gathered around tape last spring, watching Trinidad Chambliss to play Division II, and they're going through his cut-ups, and they're like, are we seeing what we're seeing? And they call Lane in, and Lane sits there for like an hour and says, get the guy on the plane now. And they didn't sit there and say, we already got enough guys, or we're not, like, they are all in on trying to find players. And I think you can do it. I'm paying a guy, or I'm recruiting, I'm doing this, but are you really in on finding that guy? And so I don't know if Brian Kelly is or isn't. But what I would say is all the skills that I thought made Brian Kelly an excellent coach, and I thought he'd be an excellent, go to LSU. He all of a sudden gets those 5-star athletes that he wasn't quite getting at Notre Dame. This guy should win. It's a different sport now than 2 years ago, 4 years ago, let alone what you did in 2018. Don't care.